I will record this, so if anyone needs to see it later, I can show them, but we'll go from there. All right, anyway, you all know about this room. You're not worried about it, so I'm going to step away, and I will queue up everybody on a different intercom. Okay? So I'll be right back.
All right. So he's gonna. It might take a bit for him to get there because he's got to walk to other parts of the ship.
Do you want me to join the tournament in the meantime, or just because he's gonna have to be walking to different parts?
It's okay. If anyone thinks they have an idea of where in the room they.
Oh,
we can.
Can you all hear me?
Whoa.
This?
Yeah, we can hear you.
This is one of our air ducts. They look really cool. The air cycles through and goes out of the top, and it circulates throughout the ship. There's like maybe, I don't know, 10,000 of these things. I don't know, but I always think they're really cool. But you just have to look, all the way up there, and you can see them. So yeah. All right, I'll be right back. Takes a moment sometimes, for me to get places.
Oh wait.
Okay, can you all hear me again? This intercom doesn't always work so well. This is the part of the ship that it's really just like an observatory, but it's the front of the ship. That's why it took me so long on the first one. I had to walk all the way. So the air duct is just outside of this one. But
is this an observation deck?
Yeah, it's like an observation deck. There's different levels to it. It goes really high up. But this is where I spend a lot of my time just thinking, because it's fun. Not obviously when I'm teaching chess, but yeah. So this is the observation deck. It's pretty cool. All right. Anybody got any questions about the observation deck before I leave? Because the next part is the part that I can't really do as well. I can't really show you, or I'm not supposed to show you, but I will be. But I have to be a little more quick about the next couple. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Aditi?
Is it like an elevator or something?
There is an elevator.
But where are the buttons for the elevator? Does it just read your mind and go to that level?
No, the elevator is behind me, but you're seeing a camera view that's like on the wall back here. But I can't turn the camera. It's part of the wall, unfortunately.
I get it now.
Yep. Yep.
All right, Adia?
Is there glass on the observatory? Because you can't really breathe in the...
Yeah, those are windows, right?
Those are windows, yeah. They are clear glass windows, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because they look like they're poking. Yeah, like you can put your hand outside.
That I would not advise that, as space. The temperature of space is like negative 450 degrees or something like that.
But yeah, no, those are probably just very clear glass. It looks like it's well made. Okay. And then Harshit.
I was kind of the other day, I was preparing for some. I had to, in my library, there was who's the author of the year, so I didn't know who to nominate, so I just put Alexander Kotov.
Oh, I see. Kotov is a good one. I like him. All right, I'm going to walk over to the next one.
All right, we'll see you there. And for asking someone, of course, this is these are real pictures from inside the spaceship that Shiraz has been on for a while now. I think it's been almost a year. But he's doing his best to show us different parts of the ship using the internal system cameras, because he can't always use his own computer. He's basically switching to different areas of the ship that have their own cameras. And clearly that is the only possible explanation, so I don't see why you would question that otherwise, because, what we got going here is perfectly, normal spaceship stuff.
It's a lot bigger than mine, I'll tell you that. Mine is very small.
Mhm.
I don't know how I'm going to do a feed in there. Maybe not.
It's saying that Mr. Velez is sharing computer sound, but if he's sharing the sound, we can hear him.
That might be because he's had to switch to the ship systems, so it might be coming through because he's using the ship internal camera, which will have its own microphone outlet too. So
Can you all hear me?
we might be hearing him through his microphone and the ship microphone.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
We can hear you.
Is the camera on yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
These lower deck cameras don't come on very well. This is Hangar Bay 12. This is Hangar Bay 12. This is where Elon drops off our groceries. It's a lot of the crew come here, but today's kind of a low day. That's why I was allowed to do the tour to this room. The next two rooms, well, one of them's not a room, but I had to be careful. But yeah, this is Hangar Bay 12. Does anybody have any questions about Hangar Bay 12 or how we get our groceries?
All right, we'll start with Avni.
Why were you not allowed to share this part?
I am allowed to share this part, but it's the next group or the next grouping of rooms that's a little harder to do. As you can see, this camera is a little higher than the other two because we have some loaders that are higher, and we sometimes have to communicate with the people who are driving the loaders. So that's why it's a little shorter this time. But anyway, I hope that answers your question.
Aditi?
Why is it even called that?
Why is it called Hangar Bay 12?
Yeah.
Because we have something like 70 or 80 different hangars, so this one's number 12. It's specifically for Elon to bring us food.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. That's right. We have other questions. I want to make sure we move on. All right. If you have a question, Connor or Lachlan.
Where is that light coming from?
That light is just coming from the light that's outside. Usually you can get those nice little rays of light when, you have, a crowd, like there's a bunch of shadows, but then there's like a spot where the light is allowed to shine through. So part of the ship is blocking the light, and that's why there's different rays of light.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good physics question.
All right. Samraj?
Does this Hangar 12 thing move?
Hangar Bay 12, it does move. That door in the back can open, and you can see the caution tape at the bottom, or whatever you want to call that. That's just you don't want to be standing there when it opens. But yeah, so the room doesn't move, but stuff in the room moves, like that, for example.
Wait, what? Did you point?
No. Well, you can see that the big airlock door in the back has the caution symbols.
Yeah.
That's the door that opens out.
The big airlock door in the back is what opens up. Is that what Coach Simon just said?
Yeah. All right. And then someone asked if he could show crew members, but I believe he specifically said that there wouldn't be anyone in the hangar bay today, which is why he could do the tour.
I can probably introduce you all to Thelma. She's in the diner that I'm going to show you at the end. We have a diner. I'll show you Thelma.
All right.
I know she's in there.
Do you want to take any more questions, or need to move on to the next area?
I can move on, or if there's questions, it's fine. This is the safe area to ask questions still.
Matthew?
Is it just me, or does the background kind of look like video game graphics?
A lot of video game graphics are inspired by spaceships that we've made, so the similarities are understandable.
But you would think you see those red ball things in the back top?
Yes,
Yeah,
the pressure
those
lights.
they kind of look a bit janky. It may just be my Wi-Fi, but they
It could be
kind of
your
look a bit.
Wi-Fi. It could
I
be
can
your
take this
Wi-Fi.
if you want.
Oh, go ahead, Coach Simons.
As you said, they do look a lot like video games because video games tend to use elements from real life as best they can. So, in other words, what you're seeing in games is people saw how cool these things look in real life, and they must have put them in video games. That might be explain the similarities.
Also, one important factor that you need to consider is that, you can take much better pictures and video with your common cell phone than images that come from space and Mars. They're just not very good for whatever reason. You can't find a good one.
Part of the reason is security cameras in general don't have the highest quality of images because they have to take and record, there's going to be thousands of hours of recordings of each hangar bay, and it's easier to store all that if it's not very high quality. So security cameras themselves often don't have the highest quality images.
Yeah,
This
this isn't a feed
They're a little
camera that's
grainy
meant
sometimes. That's true.
Arnavi?
Yes, that my question is that aren't there any people aren't there any people on board? Because if you're just showing us a tour, there must be someone on it.
I'm going to introduce you to Thelma later. Thelma, I know for sure that Thelma is on the tour. She'll be there.
Okay.
All right. And then one more question from Dia, then I think we need to move on. Dia? And if you have any other questions, you can send them to me in chat, and I will do my best to answer all of them.
So,
Although it has to be an actual question, not just a word.
so how can Elon actually get in? Because you said if it opens the door, you don't want to be beside the door when it opens. So then, how does Elon actually get the food inside?
Yeah, we open the pressure bay door, but no one is in the room when that happens, so that it's safe, and he's in a spaceship when he does it. And then what he does is he comes in, and then we shut the door, and then we repressurize, which means putting air back into the room, basically. And then we can get the supplies from Elon's truck. Because it's curbside service and COVID-19, Elon doesn't get out of his car, or his space car, you could call it, or space delivery thing, whatever he calls it. I don't know what that guy's calling stuff these days. But that's how it works. And then when we get all the stuff out, we take it, and then we take the air back out of the room, we open up the pressure bay door, and then he goes back to Earth. Comes back a month later. Every third Wednesday.
All right. You're gonna move on. You're gonna move on to the next spot, Ryan?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move on. I'm gonna have to be a little more quiet in the next area, just because. Well, first of all, it's smaller, but we're starting to get to the areas I'm not supposed to show you.
All right. And for anyone who doesn't know how it works, in using an airlock when you have a spaceship, basically there are two doors. You can't see the door behind the main door in the hangar, but basically there's a smaller area where they open the outer door, let something in, close it, and then open the inner door. That way they don't have to let all of the air in the spaceship out at once. They just let a small amount out so that they can, work in space. But airlocks are fairly common, but you have to have a bunch of big ones for that kind of place. All right, Avni, do you have a question?
Does the chess teacher make spaceships?
He didn't make spaceships. He, I believe, won a berth on the spaceship. He bought it using his tournament winnings, he said. Is how he managed to get part of this spaceship. He doesn't own the spaceship. He does own a small part of it, though, as part of the expedition.
Okay.
All right. And of course, if you want to start playing the games, that is fine. You can do that whenever you'd like. We'll probably be done in just a few minutes with help. I'm actually going to make the games last a little longer today for anyone who missed the first few minutes.
I haven't played any at all.
Okay.
I'm just
Can you all
watching the
hear me?
tour. This is very cool. Oh,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. This hallway goes to our research laboratory. I had to do a chess lesson out of the research laboratory once, but I'm not supposed to go to the research laboratory or even down the hallway until you have clearance, and I don't have clearance right now. So I can take one or two questions. Only one or two.
this is a restricted area?
It is a restricted area, yes.
That's
Aditi?
one question.
I'm going to say this quietly because you are being quiet.
Thank you.
So where does that hallway go?
Well, the hallway behind me goes to the research facility. It's where we do our research in space. So that's what we're doing. Oh, hold on, I've got to hide. There's somebody coming.
Hope we didn't get him in trouble there.
Rebecca, I saw you had a question, but I'll call on you next. I saw you had your hand up, but do you know how to use the raise hand button? That'll let me see it better. Rebecca, did you have a question?
I have to get out of here. I'll go to the next area.
Okay. All right, we'll see you there.
I had a question about this area. Why are the windows diamonds?
There are different shapes you can make windows, although to be fair, any square window is also a diamond if you just turned it, right?
Yeah.
So there's not really much of a reason of difference. There are some reasons structurally to have the diamond because having pressure from up, above, and below at the same time can be helpful. So you will sometimes see those type of things on like ships instead of other things. They usually use round windows, but you know you don't need round windows as much when you're up in space. You don't have a lot of pressure on your ship. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfectly well.
I will say you're more used to square windows, but you do see some places that use the more diamond shape because it's fairly similar.
Often I've seen triangle-shaped ones. Really, it's a diamond. They just put a bar in the middle to add the structure strength of the triangle formation.
All right, and then Avni and Adya.
Why was that place restricted?
I believe it's because it leads to one of the research labs that you're not allowed to go to without clearance. We've seen it before, but that was when Ron had to go there specifically because they cleared it out to allow him to use it instead of the bridge. So when I think they've got like special research going on, you're not going to...
I have to hurry out of here. I had to go down the hall to not get caught, but this is the research facility that I taught at before. I only did it once. They don't usually let me in here, but I've got to go.
All right. So I mean that was where the hall led down to. All right, Adya.
So I was asking, how many times does Elon Musk come to go into space?
How many tournaments does Elon Musk do?
No, I mean like how many times does he go to space?
I think they said about once a month. I heard something going by.
Yeah,
okay.
So talking really soft.
Well, he should be fine.
This is the normal tour that I'm supposed to be doing. This back here behind me is the Observatory Entrance and Library Entrance that we have. It sits just below the observatory that we had that I showed you all from a higher up deck. So this is like where you enter from below if you're on the bottom part of the ship.
All right. Aditi?
Do I have to be quiet here?
No. This is well, it's a library, but we're not in the library. We're at the entrance, so it's okay.
But what is that statue over there for?
That statue, he is a famous arm wrestler named Bull something. I can't remember. Coach Fugati might remember his name. His name is a little over the top. It's Bull something. I can't remember.
And what on earth are those?
Durham, maybe Durham.
Bull Durham?
Sounds right.
Yeah, I think
it sounds right.
That might be it, Bull Durham. But yeah, he was a 5-time world champion at arm wrestling. 5-time world champion. and we commemorated him.
Oh my.
I know, it's crazy. He actually defeated, in his most recent championship, the 3-time Canadian champion to get to round 5, and it was absolutely crazy.
All right. If you have more questions, you got it. Steven and then Isaiah.
Aren't you supposed to float in space? Why is he not floating?
That is an excellent question. The reason I'm not floating is because we have the anti-gravity on.
Well, artificial gravity. You mean.
Well, artificial gravity, sure. Same thing.
All right, and then
different
Isaiah.
name.
And then Locke.
My question is, what does it have to do anything about where you are right now? But my question is, how do you get out of the spaceship if there's an emergency?
I'm actually going to be showing you how to get out of the spaceship in an emergency at the end of this tour.
Oh, okay.
All right, and then.
Are there any other questions about this room?
You're unmuted, Connor.
You unmuted me.
No, I'm unmuted.
Oh, okay. Well, we had Connor Lachlan, who is supposedly unmuted now. In case you couldn't hear, he asked if the arm wrestler beat Muhammad Ali at arm wrestling.
Oh, no. Muhammad Ali wasn't an arm wrestler. He was more of a boxer. Arm wrestling's when you wrestle people with just one arm. Boxing is when you use 2 arms, and wrestling is when you use your whole body. So it depends on the level of commitment that you're into. So he was only a 1-arm wrestling guy.
Now, I will say this. He probably could have beat Muhammad Ali at arm wrestling, but he definitely would have lost at boxing.
That's true. I believe it was Bull Hurley. Bull Durham, I think, was a baseball.
Oh yeah,
player.
it was Bull Hurley. You're right. Yeah, you're right. It was Bull Hurley.
All right. And last question.
They sound
audio.
similar.
So I was thinking, how's that like sunlight, I think, coming out of your spaceship?
That's not sunlight. That is just artificial lights that we have, just like you might have a light bulb. That's all it is. The windows right there are the exact same windows as the observatory deck, by the way. So because we're below, this is the bottom part. So
I will say that sometimes for long space flights, you would want lighting that simulates sunlight, because there's a lot of things that we get out of sunlight, including UV light, that helps with things like vitamin D and that kind of thing. If you just use fluorescent lightings all the time and you were indoors all the time, that could be bad. So you'll often see lighting on ships that is similar to like natural sunlight, but it's still artificial.
Most of them are reflective to keep the light in, actually. It just appears to be glass.
All right, are you going to the next spot, Ron?
I can, yeah. All right, I'll see you all there.
Okay. And then Omni, do you still have a question? I know this is taking a while. It's fine. If you decide to join games, that's okay too.
I was just gonna say, is it time to move on?
Yeah. Thank you. All right. I think we've got 2 more spots, if I remember his schedule correctly. I'll send the link to anyone who wants it again for whenever you want to join. I will make the games go for a bit longer for anyone who wants to stay. You don't have to stay for the full length of games, even if you don't want to. But I'll
All right, everybody.
for anyone who needs it.
I'm back. This is the diner that we all eat at every day. The food that Elon brings is prepared here. You can see Thelma back there. Thelma just likes looking at space all day. She doesn't care about anyone else. Hey, Thelma. See? Never answers. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Thelma's really nice. She's like everybody's grandma on this spaceship.
Except when she's looking at space.
Yeah, except for when she's looking at space. Any questions about the diner?
Adia, and I think Avni had another one.
Yeah.
He really looks like Thelma looks like she's really not moving.
Yeah, Thelma is a very sedentary person, and she's just fascinated with space. That's why she doesn't ever do anything other than that and eat. But right now we caught her on a staring at space moment. I thought she might have been eating.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I have another question. Avni?
Are you just gonna shout to her?
Well, I mean, I tried to say hi, and, she's just focused on space right now. The strangest thing is that we have wooden doors that go straight out into space. It's kind of weird, but the way the pressure works is those doors don't just open real easily. So it's pretty cool. I usually sit in a booth.
All right. Rebecca?
Why does Thelma like staring at space?
Because space is fascinating.
Yeah, there's something about just reaching out into the uncaring void. It goes on forever. It just draws people sometimes. Draws you in.
Mm-hmm.
You can be stuck looking at it for hours.
It's true. All right, I'm going to move on to the last room of the ship. It will answer the question of how do we get out of the ship. In the case.
All right. We'll see you there, Aditi.
There was a question about the dining place. It does look like a restaurant, but is there actual staff over there?
I believe you mentioned that they have a cook and a sous chef, and they work there basically the diner to feed people. So I think the diner feel is just so people can feel a little more comfortable eating there. It's not like the same as a cafeteria.
And is it like imagine Ryan Boaz was wanting to go to the dining place, or what we call it. So, does he get a specific food or any food he wants? Like, I want burgers and French fries.
They have a changing menu. It somewhat depends on the groceries that Elon brings, but they try to change it up a bit so that people aren't always eating the same foods. Although I'm pretty sure there's a couple staple foods that you can almost always get. I can't remember. There's something Ryan said he almost always ate, but I'll ask him later. But I know it's called the Seventh Deck Diner.
All right, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, before I show you, turn on the camera for this room. I have my sunglasses on. It's a very bright room. I don't know how this will translate through cameras. It may be okay, it may not, I don't know. But if you have any eye protection, now is the time to put it on. I will give you 30 seconds. Yeah, you can get sunglasses or something. Might be very important. I'll give you a minute, actually. I'll give you a minute. I don't want to rush people.
Ron, someone was asking about the food you ate in the diner. Was there a food you normally get?
Yep. Oh, they want to know what food I get?
Mm-hmm. I said the menu changes, but...
Yeah, it changes, based on what we can get. Elon brings us stuff. I like to eat, fruit usually. Sometimes ice cream. All right, I see at least Avni's got sunglasses on. All right, so here we go. I'll show everybody what this room is. This is what we call the escape room. This is how we get off the ship in a case of an emergency. Okay, so here we go. That is the escape room. I'm on the other side of a glass, like a super strong glass panel. And what you do is you go out there and you just jump, and they try to retrieve you before you go into that sun that's out there. You don't want to, get too far into the sun. That could be very dangerous. So yeah, I highly recommend if you don't have your sunglasses on, please keep them on. Are there any questions about the escape room? I thought there might be some.
Avni and then Adya.
It's not that bright. I just took off my sunglasses and it's not that bright.
That's dangerous. You should put them back on. Put them back on. That's very dangerous because we're dealing with kids here, and I can't, I definitely can't risk your all's eyesight. That would be very bad. So this, it may not be too bright. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but now you can see. So are there any other questions?
Adya?
I am so confused. Is that a store?
No, that's the escape room. That is how you leave the spaceship in an emergency. You just leave and you just go. Like, I didn't know that I was going to get a question today about how do you leave this spaceship in an emergency. So I just thought I'd run down here and show you all real quick before I go back to my normal room. But I'll take questions before I go back, obviously.
All right. DT and then Dia, and then Rebecca.
So what, over on the right, and it's also on the left, but I'm on the right or left, whatever. There's like these, I have no idea, like iceberg thingies.
Oh, the lines?
Yeah, what are those?
Well, on the floor, the lines guide you out. So if it's dark, you can see how to get out. On the wall, those are just it basically says danger. It's very big. You just can't see it from here. But yeah, it's basically big letters that say danger.
All right, Dia?
Coach Williams has his glasses on. That's good.
So like in an emergency, you need to get out very, very fast, right?
Yes.
In space there's no air. So like and you don't have time to put on your spacesuits.
Mm-hmm.
So then how do you even go out there if you have no air?
You just hold your breath, wait for pickup.
But how about if you can't hold it?
Well, some people can hold their breath longer than others. So some people have a slight advantage in holding their breath. But yeah, you just hold your breath and run and jump out.
All right. Although it is actually safer to breathe out rather than in before you go to space. Are you need to head out, Richard?
I do need to go. I will see you all next time.
All right.
I'll see you later, Richard.
More questions?